Have you ever tried to stop yourself from blinking? After just a few seconds, your eyes begin to feel uncomfortable, dry, and strangely difficult to keep open. Yet you probably blink thousands of times every single day without even noticing it. In fact, your brain controls most of your blinks so automatically that you don't have to think about them at all. But here's the strange part. Blinking isn't simply about closing your eyes. Every time your eyelids move, they are performing a tiny maintenance routine that keeps one of the most sensitive parts of your body working properly. So, why do we blink so much? The simplest reason we blink is to keep our eyes healthy. The surface of your eye, called the cornea, has no blood vessels supplying it directly, so it depends heavily on the tear film covering its surface. Every time you blink, your eyelids sweep across the eye like tiny windshield wipers, spreading this thin layer of tears from one side to the other. The tear film keeps the cornea smooth and transparent, provides moisture, and helps protect the eye from dust and other tiny particles. Without regular blinking, that protective layer begins to break apart, and your eyes quickly become dry, irritated, and uncomfortable. And you blink far more often than you probably realize. Most people blink roughly 10 to 20 times per minute, although the exact number changes depending on what you're doing. That means your eyelids may move thousands of times during a normal day, but blinking isn't evenly distributed throughout the day. When you're talking to someone, walking around, or simply looking around a room, you may blink relatively often. But when you're concentrating intensely, something surprising happens. Your blink rate can drop dramatically. Think about what happens when you're reading a book, playing a video game, or staring at your phone. Your eyes are focused on a small area, and your brain is busy processing information. Instead of blinking at your normal rhythm, you may unconsciously hold your eyes open for longer periods. This is one reason your eyes can feel dry or tired after spending a long time looking at a screen. The screen itself isn't necessarily stopping your eyes from producing tears. Instead, intense visual concentration can reduce how frequently you blink, giving the tear film more time to evaporate between blinks. But blinking does more than simply spread tears. Your eyelids also help remove tiny particles that land on the surface of your eyes. When the eyelid moves across the cornea, it helps move debris toward the corners of the eye, where it can eventually be washed away. Your tears are part of the same defense system. They contain substances that help protect the surface of the eye from microorganisms, while the physical movement of blinking keeps that surface clean and evenly covered. So why don't we simply keep our eyes closed for a few seconds every few minutes instead? Because vision is incredibly important, and your brain has found a remarkably efficient compromise. A normal blink is extremely fast. Your eyelids close and reopen in a fraction of a second, allowing your eyes to perform maintenance without significantly interrupting the flow of visual information. You don't consciously experience every blink as a moment of darkness, because your brain is very good at processing visual information across these brief interruptions. This leads to one of the most fascinating things about blinking. Your brain appears to play a major role in deciding when you blink. You might think blinking happens at completely random intervals, but researchers have found that people tend to blink at particular moments, such as the end of a sentence while reading, after finishing a task, or during natural pauses in conversation. In other words, your brain may time some blinks when they are less likely to interfere with whatever you're currently paying attention to. Scientists have also investigated whether blinking is connected to changes in attention. Some research suggests that blinks may coincide with brief shifts in the brain's attentional state, almost like tiny punctuation marks separating one moment of mental processing from another. But this doesn't mean your brain deliberately blinks to reset itself every few seconds. The relationship between blinking and attention is more complicated, and researchers are still studying exactly how the two interact. There is another strange detail. You don't always blink at the same rate depending on what you're watching. When something becomes highly interesting or requires intense concentration, you may blink less. When a task reaches a natural stopping point, you may blink more. This suggests that blinking is influenced not only by the physical needs of your eyes, but also by what your brain is doing at that moment. And then there are reflex blinks. If something suddenly moves toward your eyelids can close almost instantly before you have time to consciously react. This protective response can help shield the delicate surface of your eye from potential danger. Bright light, unexpected sounds, or even touching the area around the eye can also trigger blinking. In these situations, blinking becomes less like routine maintenance and more like an emergency protective system. So, a blink that seems completely insignificant is actually the result of several systems working together. Your eyelids protect the eye. Your tears keep its surface moist. Your nervous system controls the movement, and your brain influences when the blink happens. You rarely notice any of this because the entire process is almost perfectly automatic. And perhaps that's the strangest thing about blinking. You spend most of your life looking through your eyes without ever thinking about the tiny movements happening directly in front of them. Your brain constantly balances the need to see with the need to protect the very organs that make seeing possible. Every blink is a tiny interruption, but one your body has learned to make almost invisible. So, why do we blink? It turns out that blinking is much more than simply closing your eyes. Every blink spreads a protective layer of tears across the cornea, keeps the surface of your eyes clean, and helps protect them from tiny particles and potential danger. At the same time, your brain quietly controls when many of your blinks happen, often timing them around natural pauses in what you're seeing, reading, or doing. And the next time your eyes feel tired after staring at a screen, remember that your blinking may have slowed down without you realizing it. Your eyes aren't simply windows through which you see the world. They are living organs that constantly maintain themselves while your brain decides what deserves your attention. So here's something to try. For the next few seconds, consciously stop yourself from blinking. You'll probably notice just how quickly your eyes start demanding that tiny movement back. The funny part is, you probably blinked several times just while watching this video.